Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today's build is an updated version of the 1.5 million damage high life Lich that we were running that revolved around Wandering Spirits and Death Seal and a bunch of poison chants while using Spirit Plague and Drain Life. Now I did switch out Drain Life for Aura of Decay, and with Aura of Decay we're going to use its healing effectiveness to keep us at full life so that we can stay in Reaper form longer and just take advantage of its healing to keep our survivability a bit higher. The good news with this build, it's still capable of the 1.5 million damage. In fact, it actually can go higher. I got it as high as 1.8 million damage when you have everything synced just right. Now we're going to do the same things. We do have a couple of extra skill levels and a couple of skills which definitely help with the damage, but we're still going to base this completely around poison damage and doing as much poison as possible. Some of the new things that are involved in this is going to be that you have a relic that gives poison on hit now, that you can have 2 extra skill points in Death Seal, which is going to allow you to get a little bit more poison chance out of that, and then we have a couple extra points in Reaper form that allows you to get more of your defenses, so you can get 100% of your necrotic and poison resistance out of that, which is going to make it easier to gear for, which allows us to wear extra unique. So we're going to have the Viper Tail and the Plague Staff on, which we had the Plague Staff in the original, however we weren't wearing the Viper Tail, but we've opened up that slot, and as you can see from the gameplay, you can kill the bosses incredibly quickly. You still have a lot of defense, and there's options for more defense. Right now we're not leeching at all, but you can definitely turn Leech back on and you'll be leeching all of the damage that you're doing, which is incredible for your survivability. It'll let you speed run through monos and just excel really fast through the game. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills. For skills, I'm running Wandering Spirits, Death Seal, Aura of Decay, Reaper Form, and Spirit Plague. For Wandering Spirits, I have this set up the way that I always set it up, and that's with 5 points in Thin Veil, so we get more spirits faster, 4 points in Lingering Souls, so they last longer, 3 points in Spirit Swarm, so that you have an increased cooldown recovery speed, which allows you to cast them more often, 2 points in Souls of Rage, 1 point in Spectral Putrescence. This allows them to shoot what is essentially a poison dart from afar with a 100% chance to poison on hit. This does a hit, and your hit chance for all ailments that you have is applied with this. So we have Frailty on hit, we're going to have Plague on hit, we have more poison chance on hit, and we have Frostbite on hit. So you're going to be applying all of those to the enemy as well. Then we have 3 points in Soul of Filth so that they shoot it more often, and 2 points in Spectral Scorn so they can shoot from farther away. Then with Aura of Decay, we're using this to where it doesn't do poison damage. It's used to shred enemy defense, their armor, and to heal us for a percentage of our maximum life. So we have 4 points in Absence of Life, so that 12% of all of our missing life is healed every second. This is increased with healing effectiveness, and it can be snapshotted, although we're not going to do that in this build so that it's not absolutely ridiculously OP. Plus it's something that will highly unlikely make it into multiplayer, so it's not something we're going to try and build around, but it is possible and many of you know about it. It'll definitely increase your survivability if you play that way. Then we have 3 points in Chill to the Bone for chill chance, 1 point in Putrid Bombs, 4 points in Undertow for some slow chance, 3 points in Corrosive Aura, and 1 point in Decryptify, which is going to change all that poison damage into Armor Shred instead. And then the final 4 points are in Plague Rat for that increased area. Then for Reaper Form set up to give us defense as well as offense. So we have 4 points in Mistress of Decay to reduce that health drain and give us more damage over time, which is what we're completely based around. We then have 4 points in Harbinger of Blood. This will increase your health leech, which essentially will just give you more damage. It increases your healing effectiveness. Although since Aura of Decay is kind of snapshotted, if you already have Aura of Decay active, this doesn't affect that. And then you get health gained with Reap, 1 point in Reaper's Ascendance so that your spell damage will increase over time while you're in Reaper form, 4 points in Soul Shroud so that you gain armor per point of intelligence. You will be running a lot of intelligence. We have almost 80 points with this build. 1 point in Vile Shroud so that you'll gain necrotic and poison resistance per point of intelligence. And again, we have almost 80 points, so you will be capped on necrotic and poison just for having Reaper form active. 1 point in Soul for a Soul, 3 points in Reaper's Curse, and 3 points in Death's Stir, all for more damage, and then 1 point in Ghastly Flow for more move speed. And then for Spirit Plague, this will be the skill that you use. It will not only do more damage on the enemy because you'll be poisoning them, it will also fear them for your defense, it will slow them, and the best thing of all, it'll increase your damage over time per enemy that you've hit with it in the last 4 seconds, which will then apply to the poison damage that's being done by your Wandering Spirits, which just really boosts your damage, and it's why you can get to such high damage amounts such as the Training Dummy, where when you stack it up you can get to 1.5 to 2 million damage. So we have 5 points in Pestilence so that you have 75% more global damage over time per enemy hit with this in the last 4 seconds. You can see how against mob density that's a lot of damage. 3 points in Hindering Affliction for some slow duration. 5 points in Efficacious Application. I know, don't even mention that in the comments. For 40% more mana efficiency and 60% increased duration of the plague. 3 points in Perpetuity for increased cast speed and even more duration. 2 points in Anguish for that fear duration, so that you fear your enemies for 2 seconds. You can only fear them once, so make it count. 2 points in Toxic Transmission, so that for every target that you hit with Spirit Plague, it's going to receive 2 stacks of poison. Now remember, Spirit Plague is a dot spell. It does not actually hit itself, so all your poison chants and all your ailments actually don't get applied with Spirit Plague. It's all for the Wandering Spirits. However, you do still get the 2 points or 2 stacks of poison every time that you cast it due to this node. For passives, I have 20 points in the Acolyte base class with 7 points in Blood Aura, 5 points in Blood Pact, and 8 points in Forbidden Knowledge. We have 0 points in the Necromancer and 91 points in the Mastered Lich, with 8 points in Crippling Insight, 8 points in Survival of the Cruel, 8 points in Dance with Death, 1 point in Hollow Lich. Now this will give you a lot more damage. This is what will make it possible to get to the almost 2 million damage on the Training Dummy. However, this means you no longer leech life, and if you don't have a lot of healing effectiveness to allow Aura of Decay to keep healing you, it's basically going to be deadly if you take this. You don't need it, you're going to do great damage without it. However, if you want to take your damage to the next level, you can take this point and you will do a lot more damage. However, if you're struggling with survivability, take it out and you do so much damage still, and you leech such a big portion of it, your survivability will go through the roof. We then have 8 points in Lasting Stench, 6 points in Apocrypha, 8 points in Unclosing Wounds, 10 points in 3 Plagues, 4 points in Contagion Engine, 10 points in Decaying Form, 5 points in Ageless Ascetic, 5 points in Soul Maul, and 10 points in Mind Over Body. And then for our inventory, for our items and idols, we're wearing 2 uniques, and the idols of choice here are going to be increased damage while transformed and poison chance while at low life. The other one you can get is increased damage while transformed and percentage increased spell damage while at low health. Now the reason that spell damage is good as well is because that Spirit Plague and your Wandering Spirits are spell typed. However, if you can get 4 poison chance ones, those are going to be the most damaging. Then for the 2 uniques, we have the Plague Bearer's Staff. Now this is no longer gambleable. It used to be, however I don't believe it is anymore. If it still is, it's quite expensive. It is a rare one, so if you don't have one, I would just keep looking for it. And the other thing with it is that it has a very wide range of rules, so you can get anywhere from 100% to 220% poison on hit, and obviously going from 100 to 220 basically doubles your damage. So to get a decent roll, you would prefer to get at least like 201%. That's like the best roll that you can get, because that gives you an opportunity to get 3 stacks per hit and a guaranteed 2. But get the highest roll, obviously. And then this will have a 100% chance to inflict Plague on hit, which is why we don't take it in Spirit Plague anyways, because this weapon is going to mean that all your Wandering Spirits already apply it. And then you can inflict Blinding Poison, and it drains a percentage of your health. The other unique is the Viper Tail, which has Poison chance on hit, Slow chance on hit. It increases your melee attack speed, so yeah, well, for whatever reason, you'll get that. And then you get dodge rating, and there's a 7% chance to summon a Primal Serpent on kill with Serpent Strike, so take advantage of that with this build. And then for the crafted items, we have the Profane Armor Chest with Tier 5 Reaper form, so that you can get 2 levels to it. And we have percentage of damage leached as health while transformed. Now, because we're converting our leech into damage, that's going to give us a lot more damage. It gives us like another 50% global damage of all types. However, if you don't take that point, this is where you get a lot of leech from, because you're leeching almost 6% of all damage. That's including the damage that your Wandering Spirits do, because they are an extension of you. So if you don't take the leech converted to damage, you leech a lot of life, and it'll keep you full as long as something's doing damage somewhere. Then we have increased health and increased armor. For the Profane Mask for our helm, we have Tier 5 Death Seal, and we have some more of the damage leeches health while transformed. And then we have increased health and flat health. For the gold amulet for our amulet spot, we have increased healing effectiveness, poison penetration, flat health, and cold resist. We're wearing 2 gold rings that have int, healing effectiveness, physical resistance, and flat health on the right. And on the left, we have int, healing effectiveness, void resistance, and flat health. We have our Crusader gauntlets for some void resist, and we have int, increased critical strike chance. You don't really need that, you can switch that for something else. Hybrid health and flat health. And then we have the Heoborian boots on with int, movement speed, hybrid health, and physical resistance. And now that we have the new specific to our class relics, we have percent chance to poison on hit, which is going to increase your damage just a little bit more. And on it we have increased healing effectiveness, intelligence, health, and physical resistance. For our character sheet, as you can see, we are decent on all of our resistances. Remember, the necrotic and poison will get capped the moment we go and Reaper form. We have between 50 and 60% of everything else. We got about 1600 life. We're sticking to only 2% armor, but that also will go up. Now remember, you have armor shred being applied to you right now because Aura of Decay is active, so that's why a lot of your armor that you have on your actual gear isn't shown right here. It's because you're actually negative about 300. But as soon as you go into Reaper form, you'll gain another 300, so it will be slightly higher. We have no dodge, but if you look at our damages, they're absolutely kind of outrageous right now. You're sitting at like 600% of everything. So when I go into Reaper form here, these are going to jump up by even more because we'll be transformed. So we go into Reaper, and you'll notice that you're almost at 1000%. And then when you activate Death Seal, it goes even higher. We're at 2300% spell damage. We're at 18 to 1900% damage over time. Poison damage is at another 1800%. You can see how that's just some ridiculously high damages because everything is multiplying together. So when you do your Wandering Spirits, when you activate Death Seal and your damage basically doubles, not only does your damage double, but Death Seal also gives you more poison chance as well. So things get really ridiculous with that Death Seal when it's active, and it also makes your spirits last longer, which means you get more of them. You can see how all of that synergizes together to make your damage just absolutely ridiculous. So how to play this build? I like to put the Wandering Spirits and my Reaper form both on autocast. So once I get those going, we'll get some Wandering Spirits. They're all going to auto-target our little thing. You can see they're applying the Frostbite, and there's some Frailty in there, and there's some purple. I think that's the Frailty. And then, of course, they're applying Poison as well. So we got a bit of all of it. Now, without me doing anything other than just running around, we're already doing 200,000 damage here. That's it. And then... I mean, those are good numbers. And then here, we can hit it with Spirit Plague, and we can jump it up by quite a bit more here. You'll notice that our damage is going 280, almost 300. Let's get some hits here. There's 300,000. And then when you activate the Death Seal, that's when it gets absolutely ridiculous. So we activate Death Seal, we start getting more Wandering Spirits. Boom, we're at 500,000 damage. It's going to go up even higher here. We're at 800,000. There's a million, 1.1 million. 1.5 million there for a second, and we'll activate Death Seal here again just to get a little bit more. Look at that, 1 million, 1.1, 1.2. Looks like we got 1.2 million on that one, but you can see the damages are just absolutely ridiculous. It also depends where your wandering spirits are and the percentage of them that are actually firing, but I'm bound to break a 1.5 million here when we activate Death Seal. But you can see how the damages work. Obviously our 1.5 million damage high life Lich is still activated here. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of it. Keep playing it. It's an excellent speed runner through the game. It does kill bosses. It has decent survivability, and it has incredible survivability if you actually leech the damage as health instead of using it for more damage. Alright, let's go ahead and get into some more gameplay.